Hi everyone, and welcome back to Nick's Diecast. For today's video, I'll be showing you and reviewing this 1/18 scale Ferrari 550 Maranello coupe made by Maisto. So, this is a discontinued model from Maisto, but it's pretty easy to find on sites such as eBay and other auction sites and whatnot. I got this about 8 years ago. My grandfather actually got it for me at a model train meet, or a model train show. At these kinds of things, you can usually find all kinds of, model trains and model cars and die casts and whatnot. So Maisto released this model in 1997, and it was discontinued sometime in the early 2000s. I don't know the exact year, but when they were still making it, came in a variety of colors, including this really awesome like fire engine red with the tan interior. It also came in a bright yellow, like a dark sort of, I think it was like a metallic blue, and then like a metallic gray, and also a kind of hard to find black version. So this is a very good model from Maisto, and it's kind of a shame they didn't make models of Ferraris for a while after the mid 2000s, because Hot Wheels Mattel actually got the Ferrari license during that time period, because I think they bid or something, and they ended up winning. But Maisto didn't make, Maisto and Burago, they made Ferrari models in the 1990s and into the early 2000s, but after that they kind of took a break for quite some time. And in 2015, Maisto and Burago actually got the Ferrari license once again to produce models of their cars, so they're back at it again with making various scale 1/18 models of Ferraris. This was actually briefly re-released for a year or two as a 1/18 scale model kit from Maisto in like 2015 or 16, and it was dark gray with the red interior. I saw it in their catalog that year, but I never saw it, like in any kind of store or even online for sale for that matter. So I don't know if it was some kind of I don't know if it was canceled or what happened with that. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the details here. We'll start up here with the front lights. So it looks like Maisto did a pretty good job with these lights here. There's actually separate pieces for the bulbs, as you can see back there. They're kind of done with like a black row in the back there. And a cool feature is that the metallic, or the metal, actually continues underneath the light lens, as you can see there. And then the headlight lenses are actually attached with a small peg down there, but it's very hard to see unless you look at it like directly. Moving along to the center here, this badge is actually a sticker, but a lot of Maistos from the 90s had that feature. They didn't do painted on badges. That's a bit of a disappointment, but it's pretty well applied. It's not coming loose or anything like that. This lower badge here is actually a separate piece, which looks really good. That Ferrari horse looks amazing. And the grill that's around it, that's actually a hollowed out grill. It's a perforated grill, so that's really cool. And these fog lights down here are done in separate plastic pieces. The front of the 550 looks awesome, like between the grill and the shape of the lights and all that. And the hood scoop you see here, that's actually functional. Paint quality on this model is okay for the most part. There's a lot of 90s Maisto models have like orange peeling and rough areas. This one is no exception. There's like a rough spot here and there and up here. So Maisto definitely improved with their paint quality immensely in the past 20 or so years, and this is evidence of that. This is evidence of how they used to look with like the orange peel and everything. If this were to be released today, I'm sure they would do a better paint job and everything. But it's okay unless you look at it like directly and from certain angles and in direct light. The wheels look great. These wheels are actually available on the real 550. They got a three-dimensional Ferrari logo in the center there, which looks great. The disc brakes do actually move with the wheels, but there's no caliper to be seen. And you do actually get these Goodyear tires, which look great. Maisto doesn't do Brandon tires anymore, unfortunately, but on this one they do have that. Nice functional scoops, or nice functional intakes on the side here. And also there's a Pininfarina badge, which is Ferrari and Pininfarina, they pair up to make their cars. Back here there's yet another functional intake here. Back windows kind of pop out a little bit, as you can see. I might go ahead and take that out and kind of put it back in, so just be careful. It might pop out easily. It might just be a factory defect though. Nice Ferrari inscription back here, kind of off center, but at least it's not a sticker, it's actually painted on. And this badge back here is a separate plastic piece, which looks great. It pops out and everything, so that's a nice touch. Nice looking taillights. There's no peg to be seen, and the centers are actually painted silver to, I guess, simulate like the reverse lights. So that looks pretty good. The exhaust pipes look a bit cheap, kind of like Maisto's recent exhaust pipes that are just kind of completely chromed out. So if they were kind of painted black on the inside, that'd look a little bit better. But what they have here is okay, especially from a distance. It's not too bad. Of course, you do get full suspension, as you can see here. Not very good suspension. I might have to go in there and fix that up because this is an older model, so and I did get it used, so. And full steering. Kind of has a noisy click to it, but it does work. And it's cool to kind of pose the car from certain angles as well with the steered wheels. Rear trunk back here. That was my attempt at making a license plate back in the day, just writing pen on a piece of paper. So I just kept that in there. Not much to see back here. That doesn't stay open at all anymore. It used to, but it no longer does. Severe underspray on this trunk lid here, but most 90s Maisto models don't really have that much detail on the undersides of their trunks and hoods anyway. There is kind of a texture in here to simulate carpeting, but it's not too present. We'll close that up. The engine detailing on this car is fantastic, especially for an older Maisto model. Go ahead and, this actually comes with a prop rod too. Taking a look at the engine, you'll notice that it's made of several different pieces and parts in here. You can see all the wiring way down below there. There's actually, and the main block here has nice red pinstripes going down. There's a Ferrari logo that's raised up there. A couple warning labels on the side there. There's a Ferrari inscription here and here. Just all the, all the wires and hoses and everything are all present. You can actually see all the way down in the bottom of the car. If you look at it from a certain angle, a little bit, kind of hard to see from this angle though, but just a really nice job of Maisto's engine detailing for sure. They really did a fantastic job with their engine pieces in a lot of their 90s models, despite having, spotty paint quality and stuff and build quality. The engines really do make up for that, and this is definitely no exception to that. Everything is properly colored in and everything. And this is a V12, by the way. The Ferrari 550 Maranello came with a V12. Go ahead and close that up. It's easy to close up. I just kind of do that, and then the prop rod kind of falls back in place, and I just close it up like so. And these mirrors are actually metal, I forgot to mention. You don't really see that at all on any model, so it's really cool that Maisto included that. I think they're Viper, they're not 96 Dodge Viper is the only other car that actually has that feature. So that's really cool. The interior detailing on this model is also very well done. Taking a look at the door panels, there's not too much to see in terms of like buttons or anything like that, but the texturing on here is very well done. It has a rough kind of leather pattern to it, and there's also kind of two-tone. You see there's the black over here and the beige on the rest of the door. And the same thing on this door. I don't see any like door handles. I guess they're hidden, or maybe that's the button for it down there. It's hard to tell, but the little features, the few features that are there, Maisto did a good job with detailing. These seats look fantastic. Maisto really nailed the pattern and look and shape of them. You run your finger along them, they do have a very nice texture. There's even a Ferrari logo up on the headrest, as you can see there. They do fold and adjust a little bit. Kind of hard to get one finger in there, but as you can see, they do fold a little bit. And if you look in the back, there are latches for the storage compartment that's behind the seats, so that's really cool to see. And like the little buckles too. And the seat belts are nicely done as well. They should actually be through this little ring here. You can see on the side of the headrest. The seat belt should go through that ring and down here, but they don't do that. But that's not too big of a deal. And it looks like there's actually floor mats in this model too. They're like molded into the flooring, which look great. There is a texture to the floor mats and the flooring. They're actually two different textures, so that's really cool to see. In the center stack, all the buttons are properly labeled and painted on. They look really well done. And you can see there's a really kind of pronounced pattern on the dashboard too, like a leather pattern almost. And the vents look a bit, I don't think the vents should be completely silver like that. I think the inside squares should be painted black, because that's like where the inside of the vent would be. But even so, they look really cool, especially from a distance, kind of a silver like accent feature. So they look really nice. The shifter is done in chrome, and that's also a separate piece, as you can see there. And it's not loose like a lot of Maisto shifters are, so that's really cool to see. And the buttons and the detail continue onto the center console down there. Now there is it looks like sun damage to this seat here. You can see it's a different color than the passenger seat. And this came like that. I guess maybe it was displayed in the sun and then the paint kind of got messed up. I'm not really too sure what happened there. But there is a little, I guess that's a parking brake down here. You can see right there. That's kind of loose, but at least it's there, and it's nicely detailed. You do get a full headliner in this model too, which is really surprising to see. There's even some buttons on that black square you see there above the mirror, so that's a really nice touch. Maisto didn't usually do headliners. They're kind of back to doing that on their newer models, but at the time they weren't really doing that too often. And there are sun visors. Maisto usually never does sun visors on any of their models, so that's really cool to see that there. They don't adjust. I know in their Cadillac Eldorado and their Mercedes 280 SC, you can actually move the sun visors, but that's not the case with this Ferrari model. But at least they're, at least they actually put them on there as separate pieces, which look really cool. This side of the interior, we'll take a look at the steering wheel. There we go. Now it's focused. Nice texture on the sides there, kind of like a carbon fiber looking texture. It is a bit loose, but it also does steer. The wheels do steer with it, so that's a cool touch. Nice Ferrari badge in the center there, as you can see. And also the stalks for the wipers are nicely done. Nice looking pedals. They're done in kind of chrome to, I guess, simulate like a brushed aluminum look. So they're nicely done. And the gauge cluster sticker's coming off a little bit, but a lot of old Maisto models have that issue. I might just go in there, and if you ever had that problem, you can just pull it out with tweezers and maybe put a little bit of just like glue on it and then put it back in, and then it should stick for quite some time after that. Same thing with the mirror stickers too on models. I actually have a video coming up where I go over gluing and repairing model cars, so stay tuned for that. Overall, the 550 Maranello is a really cool looking car. It's actually named after a city in Italy, which is cool. And Maisto's model really exemplifies like the unique design and features of the real car. But overall, if you're able to find it for a good price, I would say definitely get it, especially if you collect models of Ferraris. This does turn up frequently on eBay. Just watch how much you're paying for, shipping and everything. And it would look good in any, collection of supercars or Ferraris and what have you. All right, that's a wrap for this review. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and also follow my Instagram page, Nick's Diecast page. Thanks for watching.